ProPublica received images of recent discussions in the 1015 Facebook group, was able to link participants in these online conversations to apparently legitimate Facebook profiles belonging to Border Patrol agents, including a supervisor based in El Paso, Texas, and an agent in Eagle Pass, Texas. ProPublica has so far been unable to reach the group members who made the postings, so that's what we know. Yeah, that is you could see the kind of the picture of the group. So, yeah. In early 2018, federal investigators found a raft of disturbing and racist text messages sent by Border Patrol agents in southern Arizona after searching the phone of Matthew Bowen, an agent charged with running down a Guatemalan migrant with a Ford F-150 pickup truck. Jesus. Whew. The texts were revealed in court filing in federal court in Tucson, described migrants as Guats, as in Guatemalans, wild-ass bleep-bags, beaners, and subhuman. So pretty much saying all the works for them. The messages included repeated discussions about burning migrants up. Wow. Several of the postings reviewed by ProPublica referred to the planned visit of members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, including AOC and Rep. Veronica Escobar, to a troubled border facility outside of El Paso. Agents at the compound in Clint, Texas, have been accused of holding children in neglectful, inhumane conditions. Most of the members of the Border Patrol group were not enthused about the tour, noting that AOC, a Democrat from Queens, they compared border control to Nazi concentration camps. Escobar is a freshman Democrat representing El Paso. Saying, this is one of them said, let's start a GoFundMe for one CTX agent brave enough to throw a 1015 burrito at one of these bitches. Whoever does it takes the pot of money. Yeah, so that is very rough stuff, to say the least. Perhaps the most disturbing posts target AOC, unsurprisingly, and again, this to me speaks nothing but positive things. It's nothing but positive for me about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The fact that she is the target. I mean, obviously, she's got to be scared of her mind to read this crap from government agents who she was with today, which is insane. It's insane. But one photo includes a photo of her, illustration of her engaged in oral sex in an immigrant detention center. One being forced to engage in oral sex with Donald Trump. Text accompanying the imagery is "Lucky Illegal Immigrant Glory Hole Special" starring AOC. So yeah, it's rough. The posts about Escobar and Ocasio-Cortez are violent sexist, a staffer for Escobar said. Furthermore, the comments made by Border Patrol agents towards immigrants, especially those that have lost their lives, are disgusting and show a complete disregard for human life and dignity. Joaquin Castro, the head of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, reviewed the Facebook discussions and was incensed. It confirmed some of the worst criticisms of Customs and Border Protection. What are we saying here? They suck. 9,500 members in this Facebook group. It's been on for 3 years. So, yeah. What does that tell you about the broader character of this organization? It's very interesting. So, these are clearly agents who are desensitized to the point of being dangerous to the migrants and their co-workers. I don't think the migrants are really the ones they have to worry about. He added that the agents who made the vocal comments don't deserve to wear any uniform representing the United States of America. This is one post about this here from I'm 1015 with a picture of the children and the daughter and the father who died. I'm going to go ahead and ask, have you all ever seen floaters this clean? I'm not trying to be an ass, but I've never seen floaters like this. Could this be another edited photo? We've seen the Dems and liberal parties do some pretty sick things. So pretty much saying those they're fake, and they aren't real. So yeah, this member asked if the photo could have been fake because the bodies were getting so clean. The photo was taken by the AP, so there's no indication this is when obviously staged or manipulated. Obviously, and it's pretty disturbing. It's pretty disgusting stuff. And it just shows you what do we do about this? What do we do about these people? And especially people attacking AOC, which shows she's the only real, she's the threat that they're worried about. She's the threat who's actually possibly maybe even bring some accountability to this place, which shows again Nazi concentration camps, SS guards, stuff like that, comparisons to Nazi Germany are really starting to seem less and less far off every single solitary day. That there's another story released about these vital people inside Customs and Border Patrol. We're keeping an eye on this story here on Newsflash, that's for sure. But anyway, let's look at another story making the news in the Twitterverse recently about how AOC has been under attack for working in a bar. What? Over the weekend, the freshman lawmaker slammed Ivanka Trump, daughter and advisor of President Trump, for taking part in G20 talks despite having no qualifications. It may be shocking to some, but being someone's daughter actually isn't a career qualification, Ocasio-Cortez said in a response to a viral video of an awkward moment between the first daughter and several world leaders. Conservative pundit Paris Denard asked AOC what her own qualifications are. Boom. Wow, roasted. Amazing. Remind us how being a bartender qualified you to be a member of Congress, creating laws, voting on bills that impacts Americans and the world. She replied with the only qualification that matters in Congress, the election results that showed her easily winning her district last year. Then she launched into a passionate defense of not only her own background, but all the people who worked in similar jobs. She said, as always, I'm proud of my work in restaurants, but I also work for Senator Ted Kennedy, piloted literacy projects in the South Bronx, studied development economics in West Africa, served as educational director, and won international science competitions before I ran for office, too. And it kind of sucks that she's had to kind of put her qualifications in life out on display like this. But again, I guess it kind of comes with the territory. And she's totally capable of defending herself, too. Working people that the GOP dismisses just a waitress, cook, etc., 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 contain multitudes. Working people that GOP can dismiss as just waitresses and cooks, etc., etc., contain multitudes and are just as capable, intelligent as anyone. Classism is judging someone's character by their income. And it's disappointing to see that from them. What is so appalling to the GOP about having an honest job? It's the party of the working people. Oh, yeah, we just care about the small business owners, right? Again, as soon as one of those people, one of those average Joes out there, gets anywhere near a corridor of power, these people freak out. And it's very, very telling that they do this. You have to have, come from a trust fund, be the daughter of someone or son of someone who's already been in Congress before, and that's how you're trusted. And that's just the most disgusting thing. And it's why, again, it just makes you want to. It makes you feel more inclined to just want to break this up already, because it seems like it's just growing and growing and growing, just completely out of control. So anyway, she also goes on to say some of the most nuanced, intelligent, grounded people I've ever met weren't in BU, MIT, or Harvard events when I was a student, but they were the plumbers and waitresses who I hung out at happy hour, who had ferocious intellectual curiosity and lived in the context of the real world. People who work in bars can be smart? No, I never thought so. Oh my God, that's crazy. In other words, Republicans who criticize my being a waitress as an evidence of lacking skill can take their classism to the trash. You are insulting the capacity and the potential of virtually every working person in America and the world for having experience that's earned, not bought. So she goes, and that's even if they take out their own trash, which I doubt. Anyway, got that out of the way. AOC saying it better than I ever could. And we now turn to a little media section in the New York Times. Let's see what we got. Oh, Barry Weiss. And, what's art's place in the wake of genocide, she asks. Let me be more specific. What is the place for a 13-panel mural completed by the renowned Russian-American communist artist that depicts the genocide inflicted by European and American colonizers against hundreds of nations, native nations, when the mural prominently features dead native bodies, is located in a public high school? It's a complicated question, one that was tackled by New York Times opinion staffer Barry Weiss for the paper's Sunday edition. In her column, Weiss argued that a recent decision by the San Francisco school board to cover the Life of Washington mural completed by 1936 by Victor Arnautoff, displayed in the city's George Washington High School. This is where it was displayed, this mural. she argued against a recent decision to cover this, citing interviews. She said, and yet many of the school's actual students seem to disagree. Of 49 freshmen asked to write about the murals, only 4 supported their removal, which makes me wonder who these bureaucrats actually seek to protect. Is it the students, or could it be that their reputations, given that those in favor of preserving the murals are being smeared as racists? Or could it be that full-time communist for the nation's paper of record, columnist for the nation's paper of record failed to consider the persistent voices of Native resistance that oppose being solely portrayed by artists and historians as the lifeless body be stepped over? Like, what about the natives here? What about the people who are actually being attacked? What about the people who are the victims, or the people who have been victimized in this case? Like, it's very interesting to take a look at that. I mean, it's something that Nick Martin wrote about this. I was quoting from him just now in Splinter about Barry Weiss. I think that, again, it's so important to just actually take a step back, remove yourself. I try to do this on a show, and I try to do this, and to just remove it from the context of race, take a look at the broader perspective, and say, what is going on here? What do each racial group have in store, and what could they think about this? And before you judge your own conclusions, especially as someone of the white race, because we haven't really been in that much oppressive situations, especially someone who's a white Christian. We haven't really been in that much oppression, really, ever in America. So, yeah, I mean, it's something worth taking account into. So, like, no, take a step back. Barry. All right, let's move on to our last story of the day. Washington Post being a little crazy. So it's the first day of July, right? Summer's here, rent's due. You probably have to pay your student loan, your credit cards, feeling a little bit light in the old wallet. Well, don't fear. Washington Post fact checker Glenn Kessler has an interesting way of looking at wealth and debt, which is that's not real. Not a thing. Not at all. In a fact check on the night of the second Democratic debate last week, Kessler took issue with Bernie Sanders' assertion that 3 people in this country own wealth than the more wealth in the bottom half of America. Not because that isn't true, because it actually is. Again, I'll repeat it. 3 people in this country own more wealth than the bottom half of America. Instead, Kessler's take was simply that having no wealth is not comparable to having lots of wealth. So, yeah, he says this snappy talking point is based on numbers that add up, but is also it's also a question of comparing apples to oranges. Sanders is drawing on a 2017 report from left-leaning Institute for Policy Studies, which said that 3 billionaires, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, and Warren Buffett, have a total of $248.5 billion compared to the $245 billion from the bottom 160 million of the United States Americans. The wealth of the 3 men has gone up even more since then. This is, again, back in 2017. But people in the bottom half have essentially no wealth, as debts cancel out whatever assets they may have. So the comparison is not meaningful. Yeah, again, it is... Because, again, a lot of people, they live a normal life. They understand that, and they probably get the point. The point is, again... It's based on facts. It's based on reality, and it's based in truth, and it conveys an effective message that is, again, based in truth about the world we live in today. And what's Kessler's problem with it? Well, it's not. Like, again, it seems like, again, surprise, surprise, he goes to extraordinary lengths to attack Bernie Sanders. This is probably the biggest I've seen. I think we should start a ranking tally of these. I'll put this up there. Like, well, actually, wealth and debt cancel each other out. So, I mean, they just don't have any wealth at all. But when they have wealth, it is true. And what Bernie Sanders read, but it doesn't count because that is going to make Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post and is my boss, it's going to make him look bad. And I don't want that because I'm Glenn Kessler of the Washington Post, and I hate Bernie Sanders because he would threaten our status quo. It's again, what a show. I really think I'm gonna have to start keeping a list of this. All right, we'll see you soon. We'll see you Thursday, actually. It's Newsflash.